Have you ever wondered what fasting is and how it works, or why some people are willing to go through such an uncomfortable period and experience just so that they can learn something and change? Well, this is what we're going to focus on in this video. Fasting or dry fasting is a very interesting activity because mostly it survived thousands of years. And even though we don't have the same information we do now, 1,000 years ago, people have been doing it to clear their minds, benefit from the results, and change the way that they live. But how does it work? What happens? How does that happen? There are even myths or legends, I'm not sure what they are, about spiritual teachers who have done an extremely long period of fasting and have brought very good results. And usually when we talk about them, we just say that, yeah, that's the legend, that's the myth. They can do that, they're above human. But the interesting part is that ordinary people are doing it today and still doing it today even. And they do benefit from good results. And they are willing to go back in so that they can continue and find out more of what they can do. Now, the first interesting fact is autophagy. This is the process where the cell eats itself. That's what autophagy means when you translate it directly from Greek. And it's not actually eating itself, it's actually eating the disabled or useless components of itself. So that might be dead tissue, some tissue that doesn't function correctly or properly. Generally, it eats all the unusable or the unnecessary parts of itself, and it transforms them into something that it can use, which is energy and components that it might use to keep up its life functions. Now, the most interesting part about autophagy is that it's triggered when we are hungry. When we're hungry, the glucagon is in higher levels, which is stimuli for autophagy, the actual process. When we're eating, it's very low and we don't usually activate the process. This means that while we're eating, we're not actually cleaning our body through with all the unnecessary pieces of the cells that it doesn't need anymore, which would explain why it's not very healthy to eat so much. Also, in order to activate the process of autophagy, we have to go hungry. So this means that this is one reason why people would decline food and start fasting without food. The results from autophagy are so big that there have been theories developed which dictate that autophagy can be a reason for restarting the youth process in the body, in the cells in general. Recently, in 2016, Japanese scientist has won a Nobel Prize for clarifying what the actual process is and how it works. The second interesting fact is that the water has memory. This is something that was hypothesized by another scientist, and he states that when we channel an emotion or a thought towards the water, it changes its structure. And he has actually managed to confirm that by making microscopic pictures of what happens with the water when it has received and accepted different emotions. Now, that has been proven already, and it's the fact that we're going to use to prove that it's a good idea to stop or decline liquids as well during fasting. Why? Because think about it. Scientists have shown that we repeat most of our thoughts around 30,000 to 60,000 every day. We repeat those thoughts every day, and there's no actual change in there. Only a very small part of our thoughts differ from today and the day before, which is why lowering the amount of liquids would prove to be a good idea to change our way of thinking. Because what happens when we decline food and water or liquids in general? The cells start eating the unnecessary parts of itself. So it transforms them in very productively in components that it can use and preserve its energy as well as its life. While it's doing that, we're also declining liquids, which means that we're starting to forget more and more of the things that we were, and we're starting to move forward with new thoughts, new experiences, and new ways to look at things. We don't just keep to one thought or mindset, we always continue forward because there's no water, we don't have enough water to preserve that information. The water that remains in our body is usually used by the cells to keep themselves alive. So all in all, the only thing that we need to worry about is what direction we want to move in and how we're going to act in the future, so that we can change the way that we think and the way that we act in general. Also, once you try fasting, I'm sure that you're going to see different results in yourselves. So I hope this video helped you understand what fasting is and how it works. In the next video, we're going to be looking at some advice on how we should prepare for fasting. If you're interested to see what it is, subscribe to the channel and click on the bell if you want to receive a notification when the next video is up, and I'll see you next time.